just want to share with you guys about Joseph the Dreamer. We know that he was the 11th son and the favorite son, and he was also Rachel's oldest son. And because Rachel was infertile, that means that she couldn't have babies for a long time, not like some some people have babies right away, but it took time for her to have babies. So for years, before she had Joseph, his mother Rachel was the father's. So we understand that because it took a long time for her to have the baby. When she has Joseph, he became one of the favorites. You know, and he was favored and he was protected by his father. But then we know also about Joseph that he was hated. He was hated by his brothers, you know, and there was a lot of jealousy in there, you know. So out of the many lessons that we can learn about Joseph, I had chose actually four lessons that we can learn from the life of Joseph. Number one, what happened when we allow sins of envy, jealousy toward each other in our heart? We can see that there was a lot of envy and jealousy in the heart of the brothers, but we have to be careful that we also would be happy for the success of others, and we don't want to, you know, that's something that I can share with you guys, that it has been in my walk with God. I have to watch myself when it comes to envy and jealousy, because it's one of those things that without noticing, you start feeling like, oh, you know, but instead of being happy, there is like this feeling or not feeling complete, you know. And I just want to share that, you know, that through the years, I had learned to enjoy the success of others. But I know that that's one of the sins of the heart, and we have to be very careful regarding that. So I would like to find out if someone can help me read Genesis 37:4. Genesis 37:4, if anyone would like to read for me, please.
I'll do it.
Okay, thank you, Presley. Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Genesis 37:4. Okay. Just snap. Genesis 37:4. Okay. So you just want me to read 4 and that's it?
Yes, please.
Okay. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak a kind word to him.
And we see that jealousy and envy, it entered in their hearts to the point that they actually started hating their brother. And this is a sin of the heart. We have to be very careful as women not to always be content for others. And one thing that I wrote was that disciple, we also have to be careful that we don't become like that, you know. We have to be happy for our sister's success or progress that they might have in their life, even feeling like sometimes like, God, well, why you bless this sister so much and you didn't bless me that much? Thoughts like that are not good, and God doesn't want us to have those thoughts. Another thing is that we also need to watch our heart, you know, because the jealousy and envy can get to the point that you start hating, you know, and hate is a big word, and, you know, but it's like, we don't want that to happen, the same thing that happened with the brothers. And we should get rid of any envy or jealousy feelings at all costs from our heart in order to avoid having a bad heart toward others and not please God because of that. So number 2, the importance of having integrity in everything we do. Anyone may like, for me, I need to read it. Well, I need to read it. Genesis 39 and 1 to 10, and then I need somebody reading Genesis 39, 11 to 23.
I can read.
Okay, thank you, Imani.
You said Genesis 29, 1 through 10 first?
No, 39.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis
Genesis.
39, 1 to 10, and then I need another reader from 11 to 23.
Okay. Okay. So Genesis 9, 1 through 10. Okay. 39, I'm
No,
sorry.
39.
Yeah, 39, 1 through
Genesis
10.
39.
Okay. So
39.
when Joseph was taken to Egypt by the Ishmaelite traders, he was purchased by Potiphar, an Egyptian officer. Potiphar was captain of the guard for Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. The king was with Joseph, so he succeeded in everything he did as he served in the home of his Egyptian master. Potiphar noticed this and realized that the Lord was with Joseph, giving him success in everything he did. This pleased Potiphar, so he soon made Joseph his personal attendant. He put him in charge of his entire household, and everything he owned. From the day Joseph was put in charge of his master's household and property, the Lord began to bless Potiphar's household for Joseph's sake. All his household affairs ran smoothly, and his crops and livestock flourished. So Potiphar gave Joseph's complete administrative responsibility over everything he owned. With Joseph there, he didn't worry about a thing except what kind of food to eat. Joseph was a very handsome and well-built young man, and Potiphar's wife soon began to look at him lustfully. Come and sleep with me, she demanded. But Joseph refused. Look, he told her, my master trusts me in everything in his entire household. No one here has more authority than I do. He has held back nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How could I do such a wicked thing? It would be a great sin against God. She kept putting pressure on Joseph day after day, but he refused to sleep with her, and he kept out of her way as much as possible.
Okay, but I'm going to read verse 11 to 23. It says, one day he went into the house to attend to his duties, and none of the household servants was inside. She caught him by his cloak and said, come to bed with me. But he left his cloak in her hand and ran out of the house. When she saw that he had left his cloak in her hand and had run out of the house, she called her household servants. Look, she said to them, this Hebrew has been brought to us to make sport of us. He came in here to sleep with me, but I screamed. When he heard me scream for help, he left his cloak beside me and ran out of the house. She kept his cloak beside her until his master came home. Then she told him the story. That Hebrew slave you brought us came to me to make sport for me. But as soon as I screamed for help, he left his cloak beside me and ran out of the house. When his master heard the story his wife told him, saying, this is how your slave treated me, he burned with anger. Joseph's master took him and put him in prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined. But while Joseph was there in the prison, the Lord was with him. He showed him kindness and granted him favor in the eyes of the prison warden. So the warden put Joseph in charge of all those who heard in the prison, and he was made responsible for all that was done there. The wardens paid no attention to anything under Joseph's care because the Lord was with Joseph and gave him success in whatever he did. Because of Joseph's integrity, we see that no matter, it's like, this lady lied saying that he was trying to do something to her. And then, the master was angry. He was angry, very angry. But because of Joseph's integrity, even though he went to jail, he was one of the warden trust him so much that he even made him in charge. And you see, when we have integrity, when people know that they can count on us, what happened is that we are looked at different. Some people can say, wow, this so-and-so I can always count on her, even in like when school, or maybe when we are working. If people know that we have integrity, it's something that we need to learn from Joseph, and follow that, because it's good, and we can see that when Joseph and when that happened to Joseph, he didn't say, oh, I didn't do this. No, he just allowed God to be in control, and we know that because he was a handsome man. Of course, this wife, the probably the master was not putting attention to her, and she saw this guy, and he Joseph was very, very handsome. But one of the things that we can learn from Joseph too is that he remained faithful to God. He said, you know what, I can't do this wicked things. You crazy lady, she's, he was like, no, I'm not gonna do this. And sometimes when we are in, sometimes we're gonna be put up in different situations where we're gonna feel like pushed to do something wrong. We have to have the same heart that Joseph had. That, you know what, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that wicked thing that you want me to do. I'm not gonna sleep with you, or I'm not gonna lie on this. I'm not gonna do the wrong thing. I'm gonna do the right thing because I want to please God. And when we have integrity, people can look at that and they can be like, you know, this person is always early. This person always do her job well. This person is always doing her homework. For example, you guys that are in college, that you guys are a great example, and I think that's one of the things that we can learn from him. It's his integrity. He was honest in every way, even when things didn't come out the way that he wanted. Number 3, forgiveness has the power to restore. And I would like a reader, please, in Genesis 45 in verse 4 and 5. Genesis 45, verse 4 and 5. If any readers can help me with that, please.
I'll do it.
Okay, thank you, Leslie.
You said Genesis 45 verses 4 and 5, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. And okay. Then Joseph said to his brothers, "Come close to me." When they had done so, he said, "I am your brother Joseph, the one you sold into Egypt. And now do not be distressed and do not be angry with yourselves for selling me here, because it was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you."
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So we here see that Joseph, he didn't have a grudge against his brothers. He didn't hate his brother. He knew that it was for a reason that he was sent ahead, and I just love that he was like, I forgive you guys, it's okay. God intended for you guys, whatever you intended for to be harmed, God used it for something good. And look at what happened. He became actually second to the Pharaoh, like a prince, and all that happened because he remained faithful to God, and he was honest in everything that he did. And forgiveness is for our own good. When we forgive others, even if they do the worst thing, but when we forgive others, it's good for us. It's not good. It's not too much good for the other person because the other person don't know. But it's like when you forgive, it helps you. It helps you to have peace of mind because you're not thinking about having this grudge against this person. And what happened is that when we forgive, we learn. We learn to move on from that situation and be better. You know. And one thing that I learned about unforgiving heart, when we have an unforgiving heart, it's like drinking poison, and one of the other person you have a grudge with drinking. It's like you are the one that drinking the poison, and you want the other person to drink it. That's how bad grudge is. Like when you have something against another person, it actually it will totally change you. You won't be. It's like God will not be able to enter your heart the way that the way that He should. He should be in our heart. But if we have anything in our heart against someone, it's very hard. It's very hard for God to actually use you and to help others because your heart is hard. Number four, knowing our purpose in this life is important. And I need another read it. Genesis 45 and just verse 7, if anyone can, read that. Just Genesis 45, verse 7.
I can read that.
Okay, thank you, Kathy.
But God sent me ahead of you to prepare, preserve you for a remnant on earth and to save your lives by a great deliverance.
Amen. Thank you, Kathy. And Joseph knew that God had a purpose for his life. Although he almost got killed, sold as a slave, he was lied to by that lady that told him that he was like he wanted to take advantage of her. He went to jail, and all this thing that Joseph went through never allowed him to forget that God had a purpose. He had a purpose in his life. We as disciples also have a purpose in this life. There is things that we are good at it that nobody else is gonna be good at it. So we are here for a purpose, and we have to understand what is our purpose. What I'm good at it, that I can help others, that I could just give, that I could just serve, and it's so important. And he understood that he was sent ahead because he needed to help his family. That way, because there will be a famine, he was just going to be providing for his brothers. And it took a long time for that to happen. But when it happened, he was like used in an amazing way. And we can be used in an amazing way too in God's church. You and me have a purpose. You have a purpose. I have a purpose. And for God can use us in an amazing way. But we have to be able to so we can be able to help so many people. We have to allow God to use us. Sometimes it's hard for us to do certain things. Oh, I'm not good at speaking. Oh, I don't know how to share my faith. Oh, I just don't know how to go about helping this person or discipling this person. Just go at it. God has a purpose for you. And the thing is that whatever God put in your heart, do your best to do it, because that is your purpose. That is the purpose that God has for you. And just those are the four things that we can learn from Joseph. Again, the first thing is that we can't allow sins to envy or jealousy to enter our hearts. The second point was the importance of having integrity in everything we do. Number three, the number 3 point was forgiving has the power to restore anything, in our life. And number 4, knowing our purpose in this life is important because we can be used in an amazing way. And that's my class for today. Thank you so much for allowing me to share.